The reason I love the fly fishing community so much is because of how welcoming they are. And they're excited about this hobby or this, activity as much as you are. They're obsessed as much as you are. It's really cool that the community is just so open and loving and sharing and, knowledge, everything. It's just an amazing group to be a part of. The story begins with, we had a child, August 26, 2006. We were both excited. It's our first child, Carolyn and I. We brought this child home. And then we started realizing he cries a lot. There's a lot of sleepless nights and there's no milestones. So we started to really question, what's going on. We asked his pediatrician several times, hey, listen, Nolan's crying a lot. And he's not sleeping. He's not, doing his small milestone. He's not even smiling. He's just crying and sleeping. Dr. Harris, Nolan's pediatrician, was looking over Nolan maybe for, I swear it felt like a minute. And then he's like, I'll be right back. And he left the room. So Carol and I sat there and looked at each other like, what's going on? We're like, oh, here we go again. Another doctor is going to tell us, we're just being, overcautious parents.
5 months we went to the doctor and they admitted him that day and he was diagnosed with West syndrome, infantile spasms. He was in and out of the hospital for the first 4 years of his life. Didn't know he would make it a few times. We couldn't get his seizures to stop. He'd have 100 to 200, sometimes 300 seizures a day.
This one particular night, Nolan was very sick. It was very scary. There's lots of tubes, lots of wires, everything sticking out of him. He couldn't breathe on his own. Like it was, excuse me. And this nurse comes in. There's alarms going off. Nobody else came into the room, just this one nurse. And I sat there with the suction. I'm trying to suction in and out and trying to help this child breathe. He's struggling. There's lots of pain. You can see the wincing on his face. And she's like, no, Nolan's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And she reached across the bed. She reached across the bed and put her hand on mine. And she said, he's going to be okay because there's hope. You have hope. And in hope, he will be loved and he will love. And you guys are amazing parents. I chose that moment on that he's going to live a normal life as much as possible.
Finding out he had West syndrome, it was a relief to finally understand what was happening to him so that we could help him. But there's no treatment. There's no given cure. Children have a really shortened lifespan and there's no way to help them. They just give them medication to help with the seizures and the pain and they send you on your way. And so we didn't take that as an answer and we kept looking for treatments. Then me and Chas sat down and we said, you know what, we can't keep protecting Nolan from the world. It's not fair to him to be stuck at home all the time. So Chas, of course, has been fishing for a long time, since he was young. I wanted something that we could do as a family. And I found Nolan loved being on the boat and Chas loved fly fishing. And so I decided to start fly fishing and I actually really enjoy it.
So when you have a child with special needs, you get hit in the face of mandatory thinking outside the box. That's one of the things that I loved about the challenge of special needs kid is you got to figure out how to get them from A to B. You got to figure out how to do activities, and for us, for Nolan, He's in a wheelchair. All of a sudden you need a wheelchair accessible van. Now you need a wheelchair accessible house. So when Nolan was younger, we rented a pontoon boat. Thought it was pretty cool because the wheelchair could get on and off, and Nolan seemed to really enjoy the water. There's something about the presence of, that element of water that he just calms down. We were like, wow, this is really nice, but pontoon boats are fairly expensive, so that's not going to be something that we're going to invest in at this time. Enter Explorer Industries.
That was a very interesting conversation. That was a conversation that started actually last year in 2019. And Chaz came in and approached us about a special needs son, and that it would require some work to get his son in the boat, and that's why he wanted the boat. His son needed to come with him. They came back past fall, and they sat down again and kind of balanced out what they were thinking, and some of it had to do with budget, some of it had to do with, do we really need to be so extravagant? And then this past spring, they came in, we kind of finalized that we wanted to start off with something simple. We wanted to get them out there this year.
After a year of going back and forth with the team at Explorer Industries, we decided to pull the trigger.
And then from there, we kind of went step by step to make something that would accommodate Nolan, his wheelchair, his family. And then we started tossing ideas around how to get Nolan inside the boat and secure him so that he is safe and enjoying when he's out there with his family.
This boat is special because it's engineered around Nolan's chair. It's got the tie downs, it's got the slip grip, it's got the reinforced floor, it's super wide. There's just a bunch of accessibility stuff that just the world opened up for Nolan when we got this boat.
There's no such thing as a wheelchair accessible boat until we built it. I'm sure there's others out there, but you have to have parents that are willing to go and build the boat for your child. Everybody was just amazed by the boat, and they would come by and say hi and say that's the coolest thing they've ever seen. The boat's a way to bring the world to Nolan. I have relief that he's finally has something that he can interact with people with, and they can get to learn who Nolan is, and he can react in a situation and communicate with people that wouldn't have got to see that in a school setting or at home, because he lightens up, his eyes are just, he loves being outside. He's a completely different boy.
It puts a really big smile on my face that there's families like this out there. For us to be able to build something from scratch to accommodate all that in a fairly simplistic, cost-effective way was very meaningful for everyone here at our shop.
Everything we do, it takes time to get Nolan ready to go do an activity. And the pre-planning, for me, is the fun part with Nolan. We love sitting down, going through our fly box, making sure we were topped up on certain flies that we know, what type of fish we're fishing. We talk about, what's gonna be if it gets windy. We talk about the day, we get pumped up for the experience.
Find something that your family can do together that you all enjoy. It sure changed our life to find something that we could relate to each other.
I've been fishing my whole life, and it's been a very therapeutic activity for me to do in the outdoor. I just like being outside, and I find that Nolan really likes being outside as well. He loves hanging out with Dad, whatever Dad's doing, if we're blacksmithing in the garage, or if we're on the boat fishing, or if we're on the riverbank or a bank somewhere fishing. That's what he really likes, just being outside.
When I find something that Nolan really enjoys, I'm proud of him. He doesn't get too many gold stars and things he gets to go and do that are for him. So to have something that's just for him that he enjoys, and everybody gets to congratulate him on a good job. It's makes me proud of how far he's come.
The scariest thing about having a child like Nolan is the unknown. What's next? What's the next battle? What's the next fight? When's the next hospital visit? What's the next virus you may or may not get? What's next? My message to families with similar children: you learn quickly in the special needs world, not every child is the same. If it was that easy, boy oh boy. But my message is, find activities that the children love to do. Get out there. Go and see. Get out there. Try fishing. Try boating. Try it. If other families have a kid in a wheelchair and they don't know how to get on a boat, call me. I'll take you out. I'll take you out on the boat. I don't care. It won't cost you a thing. If you want to go and try it, if you want to get in on an activity that your child may love, go and do. Don't be held back. Think outside the box. Do as much as possible. Do everything.